What is the first thing that we should do when it comes to R? What?
Or equals list something.
List equals ls. We'll have to clear the environment. So what I'm going to do today is create what we call an S3 object. It is a list object. In R, the simplest object or the simplest list is created in what manner? Or it's created using what? The simplest list, a simple list, a simple list. How do you create a simple list in R?
The lowercase c in parentheses.
Lowercase c, put parentheses, open, close, bunch of numbers separated by commas. Simple list. Now, we're going to take it one step higher. This is sort of as a key value type of situation. So, in order to define a list of this sort, we have to create an empty list, just like I did with maximum. Let's see. Give me an interesting name that we can build on.
Ham sandwich.
What?
Ham sandwich.
Sandwich.
I don't know. I made it up.
Okay, how about this?
Funny.
Lunch. Shouldn't do this. I'm actually hungry, but lunch. So when I define the variable lunch and assign list, it is going to create an empty list. And this is what we call an S3 object. I can add elements to this object. So let's see, lunch. How about simple snacks during lunch? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to save a simple list in snacks. So give me 3 snacks. Goldfish. What? Gushers, okay. How about carrots?
Oh,
What's wrong with healthy? Okay, carrots, healthy. We don't like that. So snacks, goldfish, gushers, carrots. Of course, I could have put capital G, but oh well.
Gushers trademark.
I'm going to create another element. I define this is not a slide. I define the element snacks, and I use double quotes. I could use a single quote also. For instance, I could simply say that and meal. Let's see. Ham sandwich. What else? Do you guys eat? What? Pasta? Okay. I'm just going to keep 2 because I want to show that you can use different lengths and different values, different types. So the next object that I'm going to create is lunch. I'm going to put 1. Number 1. And money, $22.70. Of course, I can't put the $, but that's what the number means, 22.70. 7-0. Good. So I want you to type this, run it, print the length of the list is length of lunch, and tell me what happens. So key things, one, we've defined the list and want to print the length of the list. The function to print the length of a list is length. There are two pieces. If I simply run this script that I have, I'm not going to see anything, and not only that, I intentionally moved it to the second line for a reason, and I intentionally did it this way so that you can see you're going to get a blank output over there. So that \n simply means new line. It is what we call an escape sequence. So I made a line break there, so it automatically moved to the next, it tells me that I broke the line over there. I inserted a new line. But regardless, want to get to the paste part. I want to combine the two terms together. So I have the first piece, second piece. I can combine the two. If it is confusing, you can declare a variable and print that variable. So line number 10, print is for the print. So that's for the print. So I have to insert paste here. So paste, open, close, first element, second element, it's going to combine them together. I'm doing it in different lines so that you can understand it better. So you will see that it printed the length of the list is 2. And you see that \n because I inserted a new line. So that \n is simply an escape sequence. Well, I could have simply saved that entire paste statement to a variable. And printed the variable by itself, and I'll still get the same answer. So the first block simply prints the way I had it without creating a variable. The second block, I created a variable. Now, I can change print to, I'll leave it as this so you guys can look at it. To cut. What is the difference between cut and print?
I think it understands that \n means a new line.
One way of looking at it. True. So it understands automatically that there is a line break. Not only that, you introduced a formatting break here, you introduced a new line here. So the cat function automatically recognizes that there is a line break. I expected \t, the length to be \n. Three. Let's go ahead and type that. So it is only rational to ask, well, the length should have been 3. I added 3 elements, right? So snaps, meal, number 1. So 3 of them. So when I thought get nothing because I forgot to print. So print var. So I am going to put the \n in the front of I expected, or somewhere here, right in front, \n. Now, instead of print, I am going to use cat. If you use the Linux system, cat is very standard. It is a console command in bash. Damn it. What happened in that sentence? I expected, suddenly there is a space, the length to be, suddenly jump to the next line. Any thoughts as to what happened?
\t is the escape sequence where it's add, and \n is the escape sequence for a new line.
So \t is an escape sequence for tab. \n is an escape sequence for a new line. So if you want to escape something, you can simply put \t. We all know that if I put a quote here, automatically things change and it is going to give me an error because the string started here and ended there. First double quote, second double quote, done. So the rest would be an error. But if I want to ignore that double quote, put a \, and it will pop up in your console statement right there. Good. Two. So the order matters when we type or create a list. So lunch, snacks, that's what I created first, then meal, then lunch 1. So by default, snacks is the first element of the list. So the moment I made this assignment 22.7, 22.7 went and replaced snacks. So we lost an element. Now, if I want to get back what I lost, I can do something, but before that, let's see what's in lunch. Did I run one? Oh, it actually didn't replace, my bad. So went and replaced the first element as 22.7, didn't replace the name. The name stays the same, but I lost the entire list that I had for snacks. Now, if I want it back, what I can do, create an empty list and define lunch of 1 to be 22.7. Now, of course, up there, I showed you one way of defining elements of a list. Another way is to use a $sign, lunch, dollar, snacks. Just going to copy what we had. Put it down there. And lunch, dollar, meal. Put it down there. So names would give you the names of the list. Lunch, dollar snacks gives you snacks. Meal, the list meal. You can see different lengths of lists. We put it all in one single list. And you cannot access lunch $1 if you want to access an item, list item that is indexed numerically, you've got to use the number. So lunch 1. However, if you did lunch 2, you will get snacks. If you did lunch 3, take a guess. Meal. Yes.
Change the separation character mid paste or
Okay.
are you allowed to change the separation character mid paste?
Yeah. Yes.
I just had,
I know you
You have a question?
it's okay if you come look at something.
This exercise is to pick one element of lunch for snack and one for the meal and type the sentence. Of course, we've got to use paste. So I'll create the string first. So I'll call it lunch string. So lunch.str. So I had the paste function would automatically insert space. I want to access, let's say, the second element of snacks. So lunch. Dollar. RStudio, it's an IDE. So the moment you put dollar, it tells you all the elements that are inside the list. So I'm going to pick snacks. Mind you, snacks contains a simple list with 3 elements. So as of now, I've called the simple list. So I've got to pick one. So I'm going to pick the second element from snacks. The next statement, and the meal part, lunch. Let me use a different style, lunch. I'm going to use the bracket version just to demonstrate whether you do it as lunch, dollar snacks, or lunch, brackets and meal, you're doing the same thing. But you have to specify which element you want. There are only two elements in meal. The first one is sandwich, the second one is pasta. So I'm going to go for number 2. And it cost me. The first element of lunch is the money. So put $sign and bracket, bracket, open bracket, 1, close bracket, close bracket. Again, you can't put $1. Save. I don't want to do print, I'm going to do cut. Oh, I forgot for lunch. There you go. Yes, so key things to know. Name, you can either access it using the dollar operator or bracket, bracket, and you can use the name inside. Since the list element has a simple list, you have to access the second element of the list that you have. This is very similar to maximum. Earlier, this is something that we did with maximum also. First, I put the element for the first list, then I put another square bracket and pick that element. Same thing. Another thing to note, you cannot put $1 to access first element.